Hi guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your #1 source for all things films and movies. My name is Elijah, and just recently we had the official first look at Star Wars Episode 9, which was super exciting. There's been a lot of hype for this movie over the past couple of years, especially because it's going to be the epic conclusion to the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. And from what we can see in the trailer, it looks like they are going to be kind of paying a large amount of homages to some of the best things we've seen from the Star Wars universe so far. So today we decided to take a look back at the best scenes from every Star Wars movie in today's video. That being said, let's go ahead and hop into this list. Okay, so for this list, we're going to go into chronological order of where the movies exist on the timeline rather than release dates. So to start things off with Episode 1, we really enjoyed the fight scene with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. While Episode 1 overall was kind of controversial as far as how fans see this movie, there's no denying the fact that the fight scene here is really awesome with the lightsabers, and it was kind of a very choreographed take, which was something we hadn't really seen in Star Wars to date, and the soundtrack that went with that fight scene was pretty awesome. Next up, we have the fight from Episode 2 between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jango Fett. This fight scene is just really cool, and once again, Episode 2 kind of falls into that disputed territory as to how good of a Star Wars movie it was, but this was just kind of awesome because Jango Fett was kind of the precursor to a legendary character, and just kind of seeing this combat and the art style that went with it, the art direction with kind of the darker tones to it, were pretty cool, and everyone loves Obi-Wan Kenobi. Next up, we have Order 66 from Star Wars Episode 3. This was a huge plot point in the Star Wars universe as a whole, and there's just so much depth to just kind of seeing all of these Jedi get turned on and get slaughtered, and it definitely was a turning point for what's happening in the Star Wars universe as a whole, and it's really important. Plus, seeing the idea of Anakin slaughtering children kind of really established him as Darth Vader. But also from Episode 3, the lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin is one of the most epic things we've ever seen in Star Wars, and possibly one of the greatest lightsaber battles we've seen to date, just because it's so intense and there's so much emotional relationships behind the battle going on, and it just really led to an epic conclusion of the first trilogy. And it kind of left a good impression of the prequel trilogy, at least on somewhat of a high note. Next we have Solo, and for this scene, one of the scenes that we really liked the most was definitely the ending scene where Han shoots first, which kind of is this huge meme in the Star Wars community as a whole, but it kind of retcons the George Lucas edits to A New Hope that insinuated that Han Solo wouldn't shoot first, and it did a lot, and it also served for a pretty epic conclusion to this movie too. Next we have Rogue One, and this movie had a really great plot and just an awesome story of storytelling, and there's so many great moments, but one scene really just stole the show in this movie, which is definitely Darth Vader coming through the ship chasing after the escaped ship with all of the information that he needs, and just him using the Force and the lightsaber was really awesome. Then from Star Wars Episode 4, we're huge fans of the trash compactor scene, just because there was so much intensity between something being in the water and the walls closing in and just what's going on, and then we have C-3PO outside thinking that they're dead even though they were just cheering, and it's just a great scene overall. But of course, we also can't forget just what the epicness behind the Death Star being destroyed was, and kind of play back to what happened in Rogue One, it's really cool how those two movies now mesh together, even with decades apart between their releases. But the Death Star is kind of a huge monument to Star Wars, and Episode 4 does an awesome job with that. Next up, we have the AT-ATs from Star Wars Episode 5. These are just awesome because they're kind of something we've never really seen before up until this point in the Star Wars universe when this movie released, and just the way of taking them down was really cool, just flying around them and tying up the legs. It was just like this really unique concept, and to pull it off in film, it kind of made this movie a legacy in its own right. And then of course we can't forget the scene where Darth Vader and Luke face off, and Luke loses his hand, but also it's revealed that Darth Vader is in fact Luke's father, which was mind-blowing whenever anyone first watched this movie. Next, going to Episode 6, we have the opening arc of the movie where Luke saves Leia and Han Solo, and Leia kills Jabba the Hutt. This was just a lot of action really early on in this Star Wars movie, and it was really cool to see, and it had a pretty good payoff. The pacing of this film was a little bit different than maybe the other ones, but just the high intensity that happened early on in this film was pretty fun. Plus we got to see Luke's new green lightsaber. But of course, this scene can't shine a light on the ending scene from Episode 6, where we have the face-off between Luke, Palpatine, and Vader, and it's just a really interesting interaction between father and son, and Darth Vader makes a serious sacrifice as Anakin Skywalker, once again in his final moments to save Luke. And it'll be interesting to see what happened to Palpatine, especially with the illusions that happened in the Episode 9 trailer, but for now we'll have to wait to find out what's happening with that. Jumping forward to Episode 7, one of the biggest monumental moments in this was the conclusion of a character that had been a staple in the Star Wars universe for so long, with Han Solo and his death, and honestly his last moments were him trying to save his next of kin, and just that dark side taking over Ben, or Kylo Ren, was a really unique take, and it's definitely one of those moments that will be remembered by Star Wars fans for a long time. And this actually kind of served as the inciting incident for one of the other best scenes in this movie, which definitely was the lightsaber battle between Rey and Kylo Ren in the forest. It's just kind of one of those longer fight sequences that we don't really get too often, and when it's done well, like the way that it was done in this movie, they're just really, really fun. And the involvement with Finn, and then just the chase part that went with it, it was just, there was really a lot going on in it, and it just served for a very satisfying ending to the movie. And then finally, looking at Episode 8, which was pretty controversial when it released, but we still had some scenes we really liked in this movie. Definitely the sacrifice that was made with the ship when there's just no sound and it's just this silent explosion. It was so cool to see in theaters, and just everyone in the audience, I think, was just dead silent, except maybe like one person who has to say wow and ruin the moment. But still, this scene was just an amazing scene in Star Wars. And then of course we have when Kylo kills Snoke using the Force, and then teams up with Rey to fight the guard people that were around. It was just such a cool team up. We wish it could have led into something newer and cool, but it was still really awesome to see just these two characters who kind of wouldn't normally be working together, work together for a brief moment. And it was pretty cool. Maybe it's going to foreshadow an interesting relationship in the next film, or maybe it'll form an interesting rivalry. We still don't really know what's going to happen, but let us know in the comments which scene ended up being your favorite from all of the Star Wars movies we've had so far. We're really excited for this next movie, and we're excited for the future in general with Star Wars. It looks like they're branching out and building a larger universe, and we're excited to see where that goes. But that's it for today. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe with notifications on, and we'll see you all next time with a brand new video.
What's up, Dorito? Then, better late than never, Captain America, Chris Evans, crashes the interview. Hugs all around, but hey, where's Roxy's?
I'm sorry.
Chris Evans.
You two are...
Hi.
You both are relevant. Great.
Okay. This interview actually ended 2 minutes ago.
Kyle. enjoy this Team Iron wannabe man, but the right team is the only team Cap.
No negativity from me.
Are you a baby?
Oh, wow.
Are you Avery? You're a pretty girl. Yes. Are you happy?
Hey guys, we hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit the like button down below and subscribe for more Film Artsy. If you guys want to showcase your talent to the world, Film Artsy is the best place for you guys to do it. Please submit your videos to filmartsyofficial@gmail.com, or you guys can click the link in the description. We really want to see what kind of talent you guys can provide. So let us know, send us an email, and we'll check out your videos, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Talking?
I'm about to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
See you guys.